So I know there's a lot of discussion around the world's reserve currency right now. It's the U.S. dollar, and I went to a conference that said, it's not going to be for a while. We're they called it the cleanest dirty shirt, the dollar. So
Max Kaiser calls it the leper with the most fingers left.
Yeah. So so I hear that, and of course everybody's afraid of is the dollar being replaced, and there's a lot of discussion around it. If that happens, what does it go to?
Well, they're trying to come up with a basket of currencies or the yuan. But the countries that are talking about this are accumulating an awful lot of gold right now. They bought more than since we started keeping records on this back in 1950. It's the highest amount that they've ever purchased. And there's something called S-curve adoption. Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay. So the reason I talk about this, you just drove Dan's Tesla Roadster.
Which, by the way, was incredible.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan. Dan is fast.
Yeah. We've been actually investing in them because I think that most of the time I've been getting ready for a crisis. But then I was comfortable with my position, and so I started betting on the upside of humanity. That's one of the bets on the upside. But
you get to drive it.
Yes, yeah. It's a fun investment. But S-curve adoption, when the automobile was introduced, there's a famous picture of Times Square in the year 1900, and there is there's one car, and it's all horses and carriages. And then in 1913, there's the same photo, but there is one horse and it's all cars. And what happens is you've got an existing technology and then a new technology is introduced. Like I was an early adopter. I have the original Tesla Roadster that I've been driving for years. And then more people start jumping on board, and then suddenly they just completely switch. You'll see this with the internal combustion vehicles versus electric over the next, by the end of this decade, probably 90% of the cars being sold are going to be electric. And this same pattern is going to be what plays out with the abandonment of the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency and something else taking its place. It'll start out slow, and everybody's going to say, oh, this is going to take 20 years or 30 years. And then there's going to be like this 3-year period where it just like flips.
Yeah, it seems interesting to me. We saw the euro like we put together with 26 countries, I think it was. Maybe that's not exactly right.
I think it's 26 countries in the European Union, but not all of them using the euro yet.
And then, but I watched you watched like the Germany upset at Greece and all these things happening. And, so some countries were fiscally responsible, others were not.
Right.
So that's
the reason it can't work over a long period of time.
Do you think that'll play
to be fiscally irresponsible because it was actually theft. If Greece can run big deficits, that purchasing power is being obtained by diluting the currency supply.
Right.
And then somebody responsible, like Germany, is being penalized by it.
Right. So that's why I was wondering, like, that basket of currencies, they're going to have those same risks, right?
Yes, and that's the reason that this is going to take a while. But, Russia has enough gold.
Yeah, do.
They could back their currency right now. China does not have enough gold per person because they've, the World Gold Council supplies data on, who has the number of ounces that each country has. And the U.S. has by far the most. But then if you divide it by the population, we're down at number 12. So we're not the richest on the planet. The second richest, I think, is Switzerland.
As far as gold?
Yes. The richest is, I can't remember what island it is in the Caribbean, but they've got gold and they don't have many people.
So could we switch over to the central bank digital currencies at all? Can we talk about?
Sure.
So I had this conversation with George Ammon the other day, and I know we're going to speak at his event in Rebel Capitalist here in May.
Yeah, so come to Rebel Capitalist.
Yeah.
It's in Florida.
Yeah, please do that. Jerry, would you put that on the screen too? And so I think, I asked George, all this chaos, is this a way for us to, I guess, countries to introduce the central bank digital currency?
Yes, and all of the things that have been happening with crypto lately, it really looks like, the banking crisis that we just had was Silvergate Bank, Silicon Valley Bank, and Signature Bank. So I started making jokes like, if your bank starts with the letter S, you might want to rethink your strategy. But these banks all dealt with either companies that were involved in the crypto space, or they were being used as one of the gateways where, you deposit there and then you send your dollars over to an exchange and you can trade cryptos. And just before that, just the end of last year, we had Sam Bankman-Fried with, I can't remember.
FTX.
Yeah, the FTX scandal. Now, do you know Chris Martenson?
Of course.
Okay. Chris did an excellent expose on that, and it's worth taking a look at. And there's just so much suspicious stuff that it looks almost like this was purposely set up to create a big exchange that would then fail, to cast suspicion, dispersion on the crypto space. And
I thought it was interesting that they let a couple of those banks that exchange crypto, fail.
Yes, right.
That was very interesting.
Barney Frank said that it was basically because of crypto, and then the bank that acquired it had the acquisition. One of the conditions was that it couldn't be used for crypto accounts. Being able to accounts that were connected with exchanges.
Yeah, I saw that. I did a deal with Silvergate. When they started off as a real estate bank, they're based out of La Jolla, and we've done deals with them. And then all of a sudden they switched to crypto, and then poof, gone. I was like, wow, that was interesting.
Yes, yeah. I cover a little bit of central bank digital currencies in the book, and I just call it an evil beyond all evil. I mean, if this is a bureaucrat's, a politician's dream to be able to control the population and to be able to extract, if you want to raise taxes, they can do it retroactively. They can do it instantly. They reward and punishment, just like training an animal. They can train us.
Yep. Well, all the privacy's gone.
Exactly.
What would happen to the regional banks? Because you wouldn't need an account with them, right? It would just be an account.
No, you wouldn't, and that's one of the things that has been holding it up.
Yeah.
But it looks like they've solved that problem, not for the regional banks, but they've solved it for the big banks, which will start eliminating. And what you're seeing ever since the Federal Reserve was established is this consolidation into what will eventually be just one single system with no other options.
Yeah, Yellen kind of put her foot in her mouth when he was, I think it was that senator or congressman out of Oklahoma, asked the question.
I missed that.
So it was awesome. He's like, well, how are you going to help then bail out these other banks? Because, Silicon Valley.
Oh, yeah.
And she just fumbled through that whole thing and basically said, well, no,
Right.
So, and what happened after that is people in the U.S. started moving money from these small regional banks into those bigger banks.
Yeah.
And you got to wonder whether or not that was...
well, if you're going to move anything, it's, you're insured for $250,000. So...
Yeah, but, those are individuals. Like,
right.
Any corporation holds way more than that, right?
Yes, but you can, a lot of times they will keep it in money markets so that it's still liquid. But then you don't really have to worry about the insurance. If it's invested in treasuries, you've got insurance that they're going to hold a gun to somebody's head in the future and extract taxes out of them. So
that's so true. I know.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, this has been awesome. Guys, make sure that you buy this book, Gold and Silver, Rush of the 21st Century, and it's available at
ggsr21.com, and it's on Amazon, but we've been shadow banned on Amazon. There's information in there that they don't want you to know.
Have you really?
And so, yes, it's now listed as a video game. So don't search for it under books because you will not find it.
That's awesome.
Kindle version will be out shortly, and I just finished the audio book as well. And so it will be available. Hopefully we can get it listed as a book again.
You'll be able to see us at Rebel Capitalist Live
in
in Orlando. Mike's going to speak down there. I'm going to be down there. That's May 12th to the 14th down in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
Be there or be square. I think Chris Martinson's going to be there too, which will be great. And we'll see you guys there. And again, Mike, thanks for the book, and I appreciate you.
Thank you.